In July of 1862, President Abraham Lincoln called for 300,000 more soldiers to quell the rebellion. Up in Centre County, Pennsylvania, over 700 new recruits answered the call. They would become the nucleus of a regiment known as the 148th Pennsylvania Infantry. It became known throughout the Army as the Centre County Regiment. Its first colonel was someone familiar to all of us who love Penn State. It was Colonel James Adams Beaver. 1 year after the regiment was raised, they found themselves here at Gettysburg. Colonel Beaver was not with them. He had been wounded in a previous action. But the rest of the regiment came here to this area known simply as the wheat field. On July 2nd, 1863, late in the afternoon, the fighting in the wheat field broke out with incredible intensity. Very few spots on the Gettysburg battlefield endured such bloody conflict as that which occurred here. The 148th Pennsylvania will find itself in the middle of it. In the middle of the regimental line, near where this monument stands, stood Company C. The commanding officer of Company C was Captain Robert Mackay Forster. He was a local farmer and a local merchant in Centre County, but perhaps the most important link to those of us at Penn State is the fact that he was the very first postmaster at what was then called Farm School, Pennsylvania. Captain Forster led Company C into the maelstrom of the wheat field, and in the middle of the fighting, he would be struck by a bullet in through the forehead and he would be killed instantly. Back in Centre County, his widow, Delilah, had 3 young sons to raise. For the next several years, she would go through the pension process to get the survivor's benefits that were due her as the widow of a soldier who fell fighting to preserve the Union. In the process, she had to put together a large packet of documentation, and almost all of her letters begin with Agricultural College, Pennsylvania. And finally, she would win her financial support, and until her death in 1895, she would receive $20 monthly pension that her husband had earned for her with his blood here in the wheat field.